Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we start, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love hearing from you. What I'm going to tell you today is one of the most painful and shocking stories of my life. It's about betrayal, manipulation, and how I discovered that the person I trusted most had been trying to destroy my marriage for years. You won't believe what my own sister was capable of doing, and the reason behind it all will leave you speechless. But before we dive into this story, don't forget to like if you like real stories like this, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content. Let's get started. My name is Sophia Mitchell, I'm 28 years old and I live in Portland, Oregon with my husband Ryan. We've been married for 3 years but we've been together for 7. To give you a better understanding of this whole situation, I need to go back in time a little and tell you how it all started. Ryan and I met in college at the University of Oregon. He was a senior studying engineering and I was a sophomore studying marketing. I remember the day we met like it was yesterday. It was a college party on campus and I was there with my friends when I accidentally spilled soda on his shirt. He laughed and said, "Well, at least now I have an excuse to talk to the hottest girl at the party." You can imagine how red I was. But it was love at first sight, seriously. Ryan has always been this sweet, kind, funny guy. He's 6 feet 1 inch with brown hair, ocean blue eyes, and a smile that melts your heart. Now, in order for you to understand my sister Vanessa, I need to explain our family. We are the daughters of Michael and Patricia Mitchell. My father works as an accountant for a medical company and my mother is an elementary school teacher. We have always been a middle-class family, living in a 2-story house in a quiet neighborhood in Eugene. Vanessa is 2 years younger than me, so she's 26 now. The two of us have always been very different. I've always been the more outgoing one, the one who made friends easily, the one who stood out in school. Vanessa has always been more introverted, more to herself. She is pretty, natural blonde hair, green eyes, shorter than me. But she has always had this personality that is more, how can I say, competitive with me. When we were kids, if I got a compliment, she would make sure to show that she was better at something. If I got a good grade in school, she would study twice as hard to get a better grade. My parents always thought this was healthy, a normal sisterly rivalry. But I always felt there was something deeper there. When I started dating Ryan, Vanessa was still in high school. I remember when I took him to meet my family for the first time, she was strangely shy. You know how it is when you introduce your boyfriend to the family. Everyone wants to talk, get to know him, ask 1,000 questions. But Vanessa barely spoke to him that first time. My mother even commented later, "Vanessa was really quiet today, don't you think? Normally she is more sociable with visitors." Ryan, being the amazing guy that he is, tried to strike up a conversation with her. He asked her about her studies, about what she liked to do, and tried to include her in conversations. But she always answered in monosyllables, always very formal. As time went by, I started to notice some strange things. Whenever Ryan came home, Vanessa changed completely. She dressed up more, put on perfume, and spent more time in the living room when we were watching TV. At first, I thought she was just trying to be sociable, you know? After all, Ryan has always been very charismatic. But then the questions started. Vanessa always asked me about Ryan. How did you two meet again? Does he still play basketball? What's his favorite song? What kind of movies does he like? I thought it was cute. I thought she was interested in my life, that she wanted to get to know the person I loved better. What an idiot I was. The first real sign that something was wrong happened on my 22nd birthday. Ryan had planned an incredible surprise for me. He rented a small venue and invited all of my friends and family. It was supposed to be a complete surprise. But when we got there, almost no one showed up. Most of my friends didn't even know about the party. I found out later that Vanessa had forgotten to forward the invitations that Ryan had asked her to deliver, since she was always at college and had contact with my friends. Ryan was devastated. He had worked for weeks organizing everything, spending his savings on the venue rental, the decorations, the food. And in the end, it was me, him, my parents, and half a dozen friends that he managed to notify directly. When I asked Vanessa what had happened, she said, "Oh, Sophia, I'm sorry. I had so much on my mind with finals that I completely forgot. You know how I get when I'm stressed." Ryan didn't say anything at the time, but later in the car he commented, "It was weird, wasn't it? She seemed..." I don't know, she didn't seem surprised when she saw that almost no one showed up. I defended my sister, Ryan. She was stressed about exams. You know how tough finals season is. But a seed of doubt was planted that day. Guys, if you're enjoying the story so far, Leave a like to give me the strength to keep going because what's coming next is going to turn my stomach. After the birthday incident, things started to get weirder and weirder. Vanessa started making subtle comments about Ryan. Nothing too direct, but always planting seeds of doubt. For example, one day we were having lunch together, just the two of us, and she said, "Sophia, are you sure Ryan really loves you? I mean, he seems kind of distant sometimes." I was confused. Distant? What are you talking about? I don't know, it's just an impression. When he's here at home, it seems like he's always looking at his phone or thinking about other things. Maybe he's losing interest, you know? This bothered me a lot because Ryan was really stressed at the time with his job. He had gotten an internship at an engineering company and was working really hard to stand out. So when he got home, sometimes he was really tired and distracted. I started noticing this more after Vanessa's comment. Could he really be losing interest? Was there something I wasn't seeing? Vanessa also started creating strange situations. For example, she would always forget to tell me when Ryan called at home. Remember, this was a few years ago when not everyone had cell phones yet, and Ryan would sometimes call on the landline. She would answer and say, "Oh, Sophia's out, I don't know when she'll be back." But she never told me he had called. I only found out about this because one day Ryan said, "I tried to call you yesterday, but your sister said you weren't there." And I said, "That's weird, I was home all day yesterday. Vanessa didn't tell me you called." When I asked her, she always had an excuse. "Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. I was watching my soap opera and then it slipped my mind." But what really started to bother me were the rumors. College friends started asking me strange questions about Ryan. My friend Jessica came to me one day. "Sophia, is it true that Ryan is seeing other girls?" I almost choked. "What? Who told you that?" "Vanessa told me that you guys were having problems, and that she had seen him with another girl at the mall." I immediately confronted Vanessa. "Vanessa, did you tell Jessica that you saw Ryan with another girl?" "Oh, Sophia, it wasn't anything big. I just mentioned that I saw him at the mall with some girl and that you guys seemed to be having a hard time. It wasn't anything big." "But what girl? When was that?" "Oh, I don't know, just some random girl. They were just co-workers probably. I didn't mean to say anything big, it's just that you guys really seem to be distant lately." This situation was driving me crazy. I started questioning Ryan about everything. Where he was, who he was talking to, why he sometimes took so long to answer my messages. One day we had our first serious fight. "Ryan, who was that girl you were with at the mall last week?" He was completely confused. "What girl? What mall?" "Vanessa saw you with a girl." "Who was it?" "Sophia, I didn't even go to the mall last week. I worked late every day. You can ask my boss." "Then why would Vanessa say she saw you there?" "I don't know. Maybe she mistook me for someone else? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe she's trying to cause problems between us." At the time, this possibility seemed absurd to me. "Ryan, she's my sister. Why would she do that?" "I don't know, Sophia. But I swear to you I wasn't at the mall. And even if I was, there's nothing wrong with talking to co-workers." Vanessa also started to affect my relationships with other friends. She would spread little rumors and make comments that created misunderstandings. To my friend Rachel, she said that I had commented that I thought she was too dramatic. To my friend Kelly, she said that I was upset because she hadn't come to my birthday party, even though I never said that. As a result, I started to distance myself from my friends because things got weird. And when you isolate yourself, you think the problem is with you, not with others. Ryan was pretty much my only source of emotional support, and Vanessa was systematically chipping away at my trust in him too. Guys, if you think this was bad enough, wait until you hear what happened when Ryan graduated and got a steady job at the company where he was interning. When Ryan got the job, we decided it was time to move in together. We found a small but cozy apartment in Portland, about 2 hours away from my family. It was perfect for us, close to his job, and I was able to transfer my studies to Portland State University. Vanessa was so weirded out when we told the family the news. "Are you sure you're not moving too fast?" she asked at the dinner table. "I mean, you're both still so young." "Sophia, are you sure you want to give up everything here for him?" "I'm not giving up anything, Vanessa. I'm building a life with the person I love." "Yeah, but what if it doesn't work out? You'll be away from your family, away from your friends. You'll be completely dependent on him." Ryan tried to be diplomatic. "Vanessa, I understand your concern. You're protecting your sister, and that's admirable. But I love Sophia more than anything in the world. I would never do anything to hurt her. Vanessa just replied, yeah, that's what everyone says in the beginning. The move to Portland was amazing. For the first time in months I felt at peace. Away from all the drama, away from Vanessa's comments, away from the rumors. It was just me and Ryan building our life together. Our apartment was small, one bedroom, a living room that served as a living room and dining room, a tiny kitchen. But it was yours. Ryan worked from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and I had classes in the morning and worked part-time at a clothing store in the afternoon to help with the expenses. In the evenings we cooked together, watched movies, talked about our dreams. Ryan always talked about how he wanted to marry me, have kids, buy a house. And I wanted all of that with him. But Vanessa didn't stop just because I moved. If anything, she got worse. She started calling me constantly. Every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. At first I thought it was cute, I thought she missed me. Hi Sophia, how are you? How are things over there? I'm fine, Vanessa. Working, studying, you know. What about Ryan? How is he treating you? He's great. Why do you ask? Oh, I just want to make sure you're happy. You seem different in our conversations. I don't know, more tense. This started to plant seeds of doubt in my head again. Was I different? Was there something I wasn't realizing? About 6 months after we moved in, Vanessa began making surprise visits. She would drive 2 hours from Eugene to Portland, just to see how I was doing. The first time was on a Saturday morning. Ryan and I were in bed, still asleep, when the doorbell rang. Sophia. Surprise. Vanessa yelled when I answered the door. She had packed for the entire weekend. She said she wanted to see Portland better and spend time with her dear sister. During that weekend she made subtle comments throughout. When Ryan was cooking, "Wow, Sophia, you're letting him do everything by himself? What a great life, huh?" When we were watching TV, "Do you guys always watch these kinds of movies? How interesting." When Ryan went out to buy something, "Does he always leave like that without telling me? Kind of weird, don't you think?" Vanessa's manipulation became more direct. She began telling me stories about relationships that had gone wrong. "Sophia, do you remember Amanda from high school? She was dating that boy Mike, remember? They seemed so in love. But she found out he was talking to other girls on social media. She only found out because a friend saw it and told her." Okay, but what does that have to do with me? Nothing. I just think it's important to be careful, you know? Men are complicated. Sometimes they say one thing but do another. Or, remember your cousin Julia? Her marriage ended because she trusted her husband too much. He had been having an affair for months and she was the last to know. Everyone knew except her. These stories started to get to me. I started to get paranoid, paying attention to everything Ryan did, looking for signs of cheating that weren't there. The paranoia that Vanessa was planting in my head started to seriously affect my relationship with Ryan. I started to question everything. "Ryan, why did it take you so long to get home today?" "Sophia, I texted you saying I was going to the grocery store." "What text?" "I didn't get any text." "Here it is." He showed me his phone. "I sent it 2 hours ago." "Oh, it must have taken a while to get here. But why didn't you call me back?" "Sophia, what's going on? You've been acting strange lately." Or, "Who were you talking to at work today?" "My coworkers, same as always." "Why?" "Just asking. You seemed different when you got home." "Different how?" "I don't know. Happier. Like something good had happened." "Sophia, of course I'm happy. I managed to finish an important project today." Ryan was getting frustrated and I couldn't explain to him where all this insecurity was coming from. How could I say that my own sister was making me question our relationship? But then things started happening that didn't make sense with the narrative Vanessa was building. For example, she called me one time and said, "Sophia, I need to tell you something. Last night I was in downtown Eugene and I saw a guy who looked a lot like Ryan leaving a bar with a girl." "Vanessa, Ryan was with me last night. We watched a movie together all night." "Are you sure? He couldn't have left after you fell asleep." "Vanessa, we slept together. He was right next to me when I woke up this morning." "Oh, then it must have been someone else." "That's weird, the resemblance was uncanny." But what struck me the most was that she always knew very specific details about Ryan's life that I had never told her. One day she said, "Ryan is still working on that bridge project, isn't he?" I was confused. "How do you know about the bridge project? I don't remember mentioning it." Oh, he must have been the one who mentioned it when he was here last. But Ryan hadn't visited Eugene in over a month, and the bridge project had only started the week before. Guys, at this point in the story I was completely lost. My self-esteem was shattered, my relationship was under constant strain, and I was starting to question my own sanity. Vanessa had managed to create a situation where I doubted everything and everyone. Except her, of course. She was my only ally, the only person who was trying to protect me from a relationship she painted as toxic. But Ryan is an incredible man and he didn't give up on me. Even with all my paranoia, all my insecurities, he continued to love me, support me, try to show me that our love was real. And it was thanks to his persistence that the whole truth finally came out. Everything changed one Friday in December. Ryan had planned a surprise for me. He took me out to dinner at a beautiful restaurant overlooking the city. I had been acting strange all day. Vanessa had called me that morning with more comments about red flags and relationships. During dinner, Ryan was nervous, but I took it as a negative. I thought he was going to break up with me. Sophia, he said, holding my hand across the table. These last 2 years living together have been the best of my life. My heart raced. Here it comes, I thought. He's going to say it was good, but it's not working. I know things have been a little tense lately, he continued. I know you've been going through a hard time, and I want you to know that I'm here for you always. He got up from his chair and knelt down beside me. I nearly fainted. Sophia Mitchell, you are the love of my life. You are my present, my future, my person. Will you marry me? Guys, I cried so hard I couldn't even speak. Of course I said yes. Even with all the doubts Vanessa had planted in my head, I knew I loved Ryan more than anything in life. On Saturday morning we called our families to tell them the news. My parents were thrilled, they cried with happiness, they said they couldn't wait for the wedding. But Vanessa's reaction was strange. Oh, she said, her voice emotionless. How interesting. Vanessa, aren't you going to congratulate me? I asked. Sure. Congratulations. Have you decided when it's going to be? Not yet, we just got engaged yesterday. Yeah. Well, I hope you're sure about what you're doing. Ryan was next to me listening to the conversation on speakerphone. He grimaced when he heard her answer. We decided to have a small wedding, just family and close friends. We scheduled it for the following summer, about 8 months later. Vanessa offered to help with the planning. At the time, I thought she was trying to be a good sister, putting aside her differences. Sophia, I want to help with everything. I can take care of the invitations, the decorations, whatever you want. I was touched. Really? That would be amazing, Vanessa. Of course. After all, it's my sister's wedding. I want it to be perfect. But it soon became clear that Vanessa's help was actually sabotage. She offered to take care of the invitations but forgot to send them to half the guest list. I only found out 2 weeks before the wedding, when my aunt called me asking if we were still going to get married, because she hadn't received an invitation. Vanessa, what happened to the invitations from Dad's family? Oh, Sophia, I'm so sorry. I could have sworn I sent them all. There must have been a few left behind. But don't worry, there's still time to let everyone know. She offered to pick out the flowers, but she picked arrangements I hated in colors I had specifically said I didn't want. Vanessa, these aren't the flowers we talked about. Oh, but these were on sale. And they're really pretty too. Don't you think you're being too picky? As the wedding got closer, Vanessa's rumors got nastier and more specific. She started telling family members that Ryan wasn't really interested in getting married, that she had overheard him talking to others about how pressured he felt. My cousin Emma called me a week before the wedding. Sophia, is it true that Ryan is having second thoughts about getting married? What? Who told you that? Vanessa mentioned that she overheard him talking to a friend about feeling pressured to get married. I was furious. I confronted Vanessa immediately. Vanessa, why are you saying Ryan doesn't want to marry me? I didn't say that. I just said he seemed nervous, which is normal for any man before marriage. Emma said you said he felt pressured. Sophia, I think you're misinterpreting me. I'm just worried about you. I want to make sure you're making the right decision. The week of the wedding, Vanessa made her last and most desperate attempts to sabotage everything. She lost my wedding dress. She said she had left it at the dry cleaners and that they had lost it. Vanessa, how do you lose a wedding dress? Sophia, I didn't lose it. The dry cleaners lost it. They said they would look for it but they can't find it. I had to run around looking for a new dress 3 days before the wedding. Luckily I found one that fit and was beautiful, but it was a lot of stress. The day before the wedding she called me at 11 p.m. Sophia, I need to tell you something important. Vanessa, it's the day before my wedding. Can't it wait? No, it can't. I saw Ryan this afternoon at the mall. He was with a woman. My blood ran cold. What woman? A blonde woman about our age. They were talking very intimately. Sophia, I think you should reconsider this marriage. I hung up the phone and started crying uncontrollably. Ryan was in his hotel room. We had decided to spend the night before apart as is customary, so I couldn't talk to him. On the day of the wedding I was an emotional mess. My best friend, Lisa, was helping me get ready and noticed that I wasn't feeling well. Sophia, what's going on? You should be glowing today. I told her about Vanessa's call the night before. Lisa got angry. Sophia, are you really going to let your sister ruin the most important day of your life? Do you love Ryan or not? Of course I do. Then marry him. And sort this out with your sister later. The wedding was beautiful despite everything. When I saw Ryan waiting for me at the altar with that huge smile on his face, tears in his eyes, all doubts disappeared. He was there because he loved me. He was there because he wanted to build a life with me. Every word Vanessa said was a lie. During the ceremony, I noticed that Vanessa was acting strange. She wasn't smiling, she seemed uncomfortable, she wasn't participating in the general joy. At the reception she drank a lot and made some strange comments to the guests. I hope it lasts, she said to my aunt. Well, at least she seems happy now, she said to a cousin. We went on our honeymoon to Hawaii. An amazing week, just me and Ryan away from all the drama. But when we got back, Ryan was acting strange. Not strange in a bad way, but thoughtful. Like he was processing something. Ryan, are you okay? You've been quiet since we got back. I'm fine, honey. I'm just thinking about some things. What things? I'll tell you later. Let me get my thoughts together first. It made me anxious, but I respected his space. Marriage is about trust, isn't it? 3 days after our honeymoon, Ryan came home from work with an expression I had never seen before. He looked determined but also sad. Sophia, I need to show you something. Sit here next to me. He took out his phone and opened WhatsApp. Honey, what you're about to see will shock you. But I need you to see it because it explains everything that's happened in the last few years. He showed me a conversation with Vanessa. Guys, I was not prepared for what I saw. The first message was from 2 days before our wedding. Vanessa, Ryan, are you sure about what you're doing tomorrow? Ryan, Vanessa, what do you mean? Vanessa, marry Sophia. Do you really think you'll be happy? Ryan, Vanessa, I love your sister. Of course I'll be happy. Vanessa, but have you ever thought about whether there's someone better for you? Someone who really understands you. My blood ran cold. I kept reading. Ryan, Vanessa, I don't understand what you're getting at. Vanessa, Ryan, I need to tell you something I've been holding back for years. I've been in love with you. Ever since the first time I saw you. Guys, my world was falling apart. My own sister was confessing her love for my fiancé on the eve of my wedding. But it kept getting worse. Ryan showed me more messages. Vanessa, all these years I tried to give you signs. When you came over, I would dress up for you. When I asked you about your life, it was because I wanted to know everything about you. Ryan, Vanessa, this is so wrong. You're Sophia's sister. Vanessa, but you never felt anything for me? Not even a little attraction. Ryan, no, Vanessa. Never. And now I understand so many things. Vanessa, what things? Ryan, the rumors, the confusion, the misunderstandings. It was you all along, wasn't it? At this point, Ryan stopped responding to her messages. But she kept sending them. Vanessa, Ryan, please don't ignore me. Can we at least talk about this? Vanessa, I know you have feelings for me too. You've always been so kind to me, so thoughtful. Vanessa, Sophia never has to know. We can keep this between us. Ryan showed me that the texts continued even after our wedding. During our honeymoon, Vanessa was texting my husband. Vanessa, I hope you're happy in Hawaii. But you know it won't last, don't you? Vanessa, Sophia has always been dramatic, insecure. You'll get tired of that. Vanessa, I would be willing to give you the love you deserve. A love without drama, without jealousy. Vanessa, Ryan, please text me back. I just want to talk. And then came the full confession. Vanessa, okay, since you won't text me back, I'll tell you everything. Yes, I was the one who spread the rumors about you. Yes, I was the one who tried to sabotage your relationship. But it was all out of love. I've loved you for years, Ryan. Ever since you started dating my sister, I knew you were the man for me. Vanessa, I tried to show you that she wasn't good for you. I tried to show you that you deserved someone better. Someone like me. Vanessa, all the problems you guys had, all the misunderstandings, it was because I was trying to protect you from a relationship that wasn't going to work out. Guys, I couldn't stop crying. My entire life for the past few years had been a lie. My own sister, the person I trusted most in the world, had spent years trying to destroy my happiness because she wanted my boyfriend. Ryan, I said between sobs, why didn't you show me this before? Why did you wait until now? Sophia, love, I only started getting these direct messages the week of the wedding. Before that, I only had vague suspicions. And I didn't want to hurt you with speculation. But did you know she was trying to break us up? I suspected, yes. All the rumors, all the coincidences. But she's your sister. I couldn't accuse her without proof. And I had no proof until now. Why did she decide to confess everything now? I think she was desperate when she realized we were actually married. That she had lost it for good. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept going over the past few years in my head, seeing how Vanessa had manipulated every situation. The ruined birthday, it was on purpose. The rumors at college, she made it all up. The missed phone calls, she never told me on purpose. The paranoia I felt, she systematically planted those seeds. The wedding planning issues, deliberate sabotage. The lost dress, she hid it on purpose. My own sister had spent years trying to convince me that the man I loved didn't love me back. She had almost succeeded in destroying the most important relationship in my life. The next day I decided I needed to confront Vanessa. But first I talked to Ryan about how to do that. Ryan, I need to talk to her. I need to hear it from her. Sophia, are you sure? This is going to be so painful. I have to. I can't live with these doubts forever. And she needs to know that I know the truth. Do you want me to go with you? No. This is something I need to work out with her alone. On Saturday morning I drove to Eugene alone. 2 hours to think about what I was going to say, how I was going to approach the situation. I arrived at my parents' house around 10 a.m. My parents were in the garden and Vanessa was in the living room watching TV. Hi Sophia, she said, smiling as if nothing had happened. What a surprise. How was your honeymoon? Vanessa, I need to talk to you. In private. Sure. Let's go to my room. We went up to her room. She sat on the bed, I stood by the door. Vanessa, I know. You know what? I know about the messages you sent to Ryan. I know you're in love with him. And I know you were the one who tried to destroy my relationship all these years. Her expression changed completely. The fake smile disappeared and she went white. Sophia, I can explain. Explain what? That you spent years trying to convince me that my husband didn't love me? That you made up rumors about him? That you sabotaged my marriage? It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that? I exploded. Vanessa, you confessed everything in the messages. You admitted that you did all of this on purpose. Vanessa tried to defend herself, but her arguments were pathetic. Sophia, I was just trying to protect you. You're my sister, I love you. Protect me? Vanessa, you were trying to steal my boyfriend. It wasn't like that. I genuinely thought you two weren't compatible. Lie. You admitted in the messages that it was all out of jealousy. Hey. I admit that I had feelings for Ryan. But that doesn't change the fact that I was worried about you. Vanessa, you almost destroyed my life. You made me question my sanity. You tried to sabotage my marriage. Finally, Vanessa broke down and confessed everything. Okay. You want the truth? Yes, I was in love with Ryan since you started dating him. Yes, I tried to break you up. But it was because I thought we had more in common. Vanessa, he never showed you any signs of interest. Never. He was nice to me. He talked to me. More than any other guy ever did. He was being polite. He was trying to be a good brother-in-law. I hoped, that maybe in time he would realize that we were more compatible. So you decided you were going to destroy my relationship to create an opportunity for yourself? I didn't want to hurt you, Sophia. I just wanted a chance to be happy too. At that point, my parents came upstairs to see what was happening. They had heard the screaming. Girls, what's going on here? My father asked. I had to tell them everything. It was one of the hardest conversations of my life. My mother was shocked. Vanessa, is this true? Did you really try to sabotage your sister's wedding? Vanessa started crying. Mom, I didn't want it to come to this. My father was furious. Vanessa, how could you do this to your own sister? Dad, you don't understand. I've been hurting for years, watching her happy with the man I loved. My mother said, Vanessa, this doesn't justify what you did. You betrayed your sister's trust in the worst way possible. The conversation with my parents was long and painful. They were devastated to learn what Vanessa had done. My mother cried a lot. Sophia, honey, I'm so sorry. If I had known what was happening. Mom, you couldn't have known. Vanessa was very smart to hide what she was doing. My father said, Vanessa, you need professional help. This is not normal behavior. Vanessa became defensive. I don't need help. I just fell in love with the wrong person. Vanessa, I said, you didn't just fall in love. You lied, manipulated, sabotaged, and almost destroyed my life. This goes way beyond unrequited infatuation. Before I left, Vanessa apologized. Sophia, I know I messed up. I know I went too far. Can you forgive me? I looked at her, my little sister whom I had protected and loved my entire life, and felt a mixture of anger, disappointment, and sadness. Vanessa, you didn't just cheat on me. You spent years making me question my own perception of reality. You almost destroyed my marriage before it even started. Forgiveness isn't something I can give just like that. But we're sisters. Exactly. We're sisters. You should have been the one supporting me the most, not the one trying to destroy me the most. The drive back to Portland was one of the longest of my life. 2 hours alone with my thoughts, processing everything that had happened. When I got home, Ryan was anxiously waiting for me. How was it? He asked. I told him everything. He hugged me tightly as I cried. Sophia, I'm so sorry you had to go through this. I'm so sorry it took me so long to show you the messages. Ryan, it's not your fault. You were perfect. You loved me even when I was being paranoid and insecure because of her manipulations. I will always love you, Sophia. Always. Guys, this happened 6 months ago. Since then, a lot has changed in my family. Vanessa started therapy as my parents insisted. She still lives with them, but our relationship, well, I don't know if it will ever go back to the way it was. She sent me a few messages apologizing, saying that she's working on herself in therapy, that she recognizes that what she did was wrong. But I'm not ready for a full reconciliation yet. Ryan and I are stronger than ever. Knowing the truth about everything that happened over the past few years has brought incredible peace to our relationship. All those insecurities I felt, all those doubts, I now know they weren't real. They were the result of systematic and cruel manipulation. Ryan has been incredibly patient with me as I process all of this. Sometimes I still have nightmares about the possibility that I lost him because of Vanessa's lies. This experience has taught me several important things. First, that sometimes the people closest to us are capable of the greatest betrayals. I never imagined that my own sister would be capable of something like this. Second, that emotional manipulation is real and can be devastating. Vanessa has been able to make me question my own sanity for years. Third, that communication in a relationship is key. If Ryan and I had talked more openly about our suspicions, we might have discovered the truth sooner. For those of you watching, if you ever feel like something is wrong in your relationship, talk to your partner openly. If someone is constantly planting doubts about your relationship, question their motives. Most importantly, trust your instincts. If a relationship is solid and based on real love, it will survive the onslaught of external attacks. As for Vanessa, we are still in the process of figuring out if our relationship can be rebuilt. She is in therapy, and her therapist suggested that maybe we could do some sessions together in the future. But it will take time. A lot of time. Trust once broken like this is not easy to rebuild. My parents are devastated by the situation. They feel guilty for not realizing what was happening. But I don't blame them. Vanessa was very clever at hiding her true intentions. Guys, this was one of the hardest stories I've ever shared. But I felt it was important to tell because I know so many people go through situations of manipulation and may not recognize the signs. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you know someone who needs to hear this story, share it. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been through a situation of family manipulation? How did you deal with it? Remember, you deserve relationships based on honesty, respect, and true love. Don't settle for anything less. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.